Hey, YouTubers, Tazman here, bringing you another episode of Taz Teaches Java. And in our last one, we were talking about the important concepts to learn about object-oriented programming. We talked about both encapsulation and then inheritance. So encapsulation is kind of the security, how things are not visible outside of the class if you don't want them to be, and that helps secure things in that sense. And we also talked about inheritance, where a class or a subclass can inherit attributes from the superclass. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the last thing, and that would be a big word called, let's go ahead and say we want a new package. And this is called polymorphism. P-O-L-Y. This is M-O-R-P-H-I-S-M, right? Polymorphism? That looks about right. So polymorphism, oh, whoops. Let's go and rename this. We like to keep those guys lowercase. Refactor, rename. P. So polymorphism it literally actually means many forms. So poly is many and morph is forms, right? So polymorphism is taking on many forms, or something taking on many forms. And for this, I think what we're going to do is we're going to copy our pet components from last lesson. We're going to do a copy here, and then we're going to go ahead and paste them in here because we're going to want to use those. And there we go. There we go. All right, so as you remember, we were talking about how there's a pet, which is the superclass, and then these are the subclasses. So the fish, for example, inherited or extended from pet. So that means everything that pet has is within fish. However, it also has its own other classes or other methods and properties and all that fun stuff. So if we go ahead and open these guys up, actually, wait, let's close these just for a minute. What we want to talk about first is there's two types of polymorphism, right? So the first one is static polymorphism, also kind of known as overloading in programming. And then there's the dynamic polymorphism, which is more along the lines of overriding. And we're going to talk about both of those. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the static polymorphism or overloading. And what we'll do is we could do this as a single class, I believe. So let's go ahead and do this, and we're going to I can't see. Actually, hold on. I'm going to put on my glasses so I can read a little better. I can read fine without them, but things just get crystal clear if I put them on. All right, so we're just going to call this adder, maybe. And it needs, we want to do that uppercase because it's the way things are. All right, so we have this adder here in polymorphism, and let's do main. And there we go. And what we want to do is we're going to create down here some little methods or some functions or some subroutines, whatever you want to call them. In Java, generally they're called methods. And it's going to be called add, right? So we're going to say public static, let's not have it return anything, void, and we're going to call it add. Okay, so this is just the shell. Now, what polymorphism in the overloading is where you have your method or whatever that has the same name. It's just called add, and the computer's going to have to decide which one of these to call. So we're going to put just a bunch of these here, and we're actually going to get an error, I believe. Let's see, that's 3. How many do I want? I want 5. Okay, so as you can see, these are erroring because they're duplicates. Now, let's see, do that. Whoops, that was the wrong one. I think I want Control Shift F for format. So what we want to do is we want to say, for example, we want to have different things happen. So let's say this add is going to take in an integer, we'll just call it x, and an integer called y. So we're going to pass it two integers, and it's going to do something with it. Now you notice this one's happy because it's not a duplicate of these. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's just do this. Control C. We're going to make them all duplicates again. So let's do maybe a double here instead. D-O-U-B-L-E, double. And now that one will be we have to spell double right though. D-O-U-B-L-E, there we go. And maybe make this one double on this side, D-O-U-B-L-E. Now if you don't remember, integers or whole numbers, doubles are your decimal numbers. And then maybe this one can be a double and a double. D-O-U-B, oops, B-L-E, I can't talk. And then this one, we're actually going to just do another example where we can actually have it pass more. We're going to have it pass one more integer called z. So as you can see, now it's actually happy. Even though all these methods have the same name, the computer's happy. It's not complaining, and that's because each of these have something different about them. And with overloading, what the computer's going to do is it's going to say, it's going to look at the signature of the method to determine which one we want. So if we came up here and we said, let's see, SOUT, let's do system out, and we'll do, this would return, actually we don't want a system out here. Control X. So let's just call add, right? And then we're gonna say, let's call it with, let's call it with two integers. Let's say 2 and, 2 comma 3, right? Am I in the right thing? Why are you red? Polymorphism. Add or add. Actually, can I think this is fine still. And then semicolon. And then add, and let's say we want to do an integer. Well, let's do 2 comma 3.5. So that's that one. Oops, we forgot our semicolon at the end. Let's do another one. Oh, there it fixed. Add. Let's see, we want the double first, so let's do 2.5 comma 3. Whoops. And then this next one, we'll do add. Let's do parentheses. Probably would be more efficient to have these guys return the value. Maybe we'll do that. We'll do add, and this is a double double, so we'll do 2.5 comma 3.5, right? And then our final one is the one add, and this is 2, 3, and 4. And we need our semicolons. Let's go ahead and change these. We're going to return, and this one would always return an int. This would always return a double. This one would always return a double. And of course you have to spell it right. For some reason I don't like to spell it right. So that's a double, that's a double. This one would always return a double. And this one of course would return an int. Okay, so now we have these. The reason we got red lines is because we're not returning anything, or we're not telling it what we're returning yet. So let's go ahead and say return, R-E-T, man, I can't spell today, R-E-T-U, return, and we're gonna say x plus y, right? Do that, and we'll just be able to take this exact same thing and paste it here, 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 and oops, not there. and here. However, this one also will want a plus z. Okay, so we have that, and then if we want, we can actually just do our S outs on this. So let's do SOUT just so I can get the main chunk. Control C. We'll go ahead and do this and throw there, and there, and there, and there, and there. Then we can get rid of this guy. And then we just have to put these guys back in here to, since we have an open parenthesis here, open parenthesis, we need two close parentheses. And I think I didn't hit that right. There we go. All right. So as you can see here, the static polymorphism is where we're saying that we are statically programming in our possible values here. So if I want to add 2 and 3, it'll automatically call this one. If I want to do something with a double in it, then it will call this one, and so on and so forth. So if we run this, save and run, you'll see that we get all our answers right here. So we get 5 for the first one, 5.5 for the second one, 5.5 for the third one, 6 for that one, and then we actually get 9 for that one. So we get all of them. So that's really quick what static polymorphism or overriding it or overloading is. We're overloading our method or giving it multiple forms that it can take. So that's our overloading of our adder method. That's why I was saying adder. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about the overriding. Now overriding is a little different. If we came into our pet here and we wanted to give it another thing called speak, right? Because we have eat and sleep, remember? Let's go ahead and add one just called speak. So we'll do public, public, void, and we'll call it speak. I don't think we have that yet. And it doesn't need to take in any parameters, so we don't need to do that. And let's just have this say SOUT. So this will be, I don't know, maybe this will be a very intelligent alien pet or something, would be our generic pet. Hello, how are you? So we never want to see that because our bird, fish, and dog should never be able to say that. So if we come in here and hit enter a bunch more times, oops, no, not here. Sorry, I'm not thinking straight. So here's our next method, and this is in pet. So go ahead and save that. Now let's go ahead and load up. Let's do our dog first. So our dog, when we do our speak from our dog, we want to do PUBLI, public, and void, and SPEAK. So when our dog speaks, we don't want him to say hello, how are you? We want him to say S out. We want him to say bark, bark, right? How about bark, comma, woof? So that's what a dog says. However, a bird's not going to say that. A fish is definitely not going to say that. So let's go ahead and save that. In our bird here, what's a bird say? Just tweet, tweet, or Polly want a cracker? One of those. Polly wants a cracker. So let's do public, void, SPEAK, speak, and do this, and then we'll go SOUT and that, and then let's see. So we want this. Let's just say tweet, tweet, WEET, tweet, tweet. There we go. There's our bird, and then we have our fish. Now fish, they don't speak. At least I've never seen a fish that speaks. I mean, guess Flounder from Little Mermaid speaks, but I don't think he counts. Public void. So we're going to have him speak, and he is not going to say anything. He's just going to stare blindly at you. So let's just do SOUT, S out here, tab, control space to get the auto completion there. And I don't know, maybe he'll just kind of do little stars at you like, huh? Okay, so there are three things. So now you see we have speak in all of these things. And when we declare our pets in here, right, where we're doing the swim and all that fun stuff, and let's see, we had Tweety, Flounder, and Fluffy. If we went and told Tweety, Flounder, or Fluffy to speak, let's go FLOU Flounder, and do that. Flounder the fish, he's a fish, and do SPEAK, speak. And there we go. And then maybe, what was the other? Tweety. Tweety dot speak. And finally, our dog Fluffy. Floofy the dog. Speak. All right, so if we run our little program now and we check this out, so whoops, I hit the wrong save. I want to save all. And if we run it, you will see here that our Flounder, he just gives you stars. The bird, Tweety, he tweets, and then the dog barks. So that's exactly what we want it to do. So this is actually called overriding, because even though pet, which is the superclass of everything, and if we just wanted that to speak, or if we just created a generic pet, it would always say, hello, how are you? However, our dog has the same function or same method as that, so it overrides the pet one. So the bird overrides the pet one, and of course the fish overrides the pet one. That way, each thing says what you want it to say or do what you want it to do specifically. So let's see. I think that's pretty much it on polymorphism. There might be some other things that I'm not thinking of right now. I know also with polymorphism, there's, when you declare an object, for example up here, notice how we actually declared, where are we declaring, oh whoops, pet owner. So we're actually declaring a bird, a fish, and a dog here. We could also say that we want to declare a pet, and we'll just call this Spike. I don't know. Spike, another dog, and he equals a new dog. So this is saying that it's from the type pet, but we're actually declaring the object dog, and it should do the exact same thing that we're expecting here. Let's just try this. Do spike dot speak. Now we might go over a little later why you would want to have the object, or the object be the dog, and then this, the reference, whatever, I can't think of the words right now, be pet. But right now it doesn't matter. Let's just check this. I think this should still be a dog because the object is a dog. Yes. So there we go. So you can actually do it that way, and like I said, we probably will go into later on as we're learning other things and more details of classes. We'll talk about why you might do that opposed to the other way. But just so you know, it actually works kind of the same thing, where you're declaring or referencing the pet class, but you're still creating the dog object. So hopefully that kind of made sense to you. Don't get hung up on this part. Mostly what I wanted to get through is the overloading, or the static the static polymorphism, and the dynamic polymorphism, or overriding, where methods override another method, where this one's just overloading them. right? So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you're learning something good. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to leave comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like. It helps me tremendously on YouTube, especially on this channel, which is really small. And aside from that, comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, check out my other channels, check out my Discord, chat with me live there. And all the information for that is in the video description. And that's it. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.